Last time on Square Roots.
Diddle goes to hell!
Is that the whole thing?
Yep.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Square Roots, the classic RPG podcast. My name is Jim Banks. I am joined by Matthew Van Zant.
Hello, friends.
John Draconis Brandon.
I am the universe.
Okay.
And Vanessa.
I'm Vanessa.
And this is a podcast where we play and talk about your favorite classic RPGs one chunker at a time.
Cool.
It's true. And one of our favorite classic RPGs is a game called Legend of Mana,
I love it.
a semi-sequel to Secret of Mana. Does the Mana series have a continuity? I didn't realize that, but this does
Yeah.
seem to be set
Kind of.
like
Yeah.
post Trials of Mana when the Mana Tree dies.
The mana tree seems to die a lot in these games.
Well, sure. Sure. Sometimes it's going to get exploded. Sometimes it's going to fuck your mom. It's just the tree doing
I
what
read
it does.
No,
I read
it-
some of the lore of the game that explains the backstory. Like it's all in the encyclopedias that you can access, and I won't get into it because it's really weird. But like they do mention that there are like great dragons that live on the earth, but they don't call them dragons. It calls them flammies,
Oh, wonderful.
which is really interesting.
But that doesn't make sense. Flammy was what you named your dragon. It wasn't.
Yeah, but
dragon.
they say they call them flammies, capital F flammies.
Why don't we talk about something else? Something like, I don't know, maybe how we leveled up this week?
Hey, I bet Vanessa wants to go.
I bet Vanessa does want to go.
I bet I do. Hi, everybody. My name's Vanessa. This week I leveled up by watching a movie called The Resort. I believe it was on Hulu. This movie is not good. It's sort of like your standard horror movie kind of thing. It's about a group of young people going to a abandoned haunted resort.
Do they grow
And-
old?
Well, yes, but no more than they would under any other circumstance where time passes. So I'd say they grow about 2 days older in the movie. This movie was filmed in Hawaii, and I think that is why it exists, because they wanted to film a movie in Hawaii. Because as I said, this is a horror movie. It's about an hour and 15 minutes long. And I did do a check, and the first death in this movie occurs with 18 minutes left in the film.
Oh wow!
So most of the movie is them walking through Hawaii, doing character work.
Ooh, is that at least good character work?
This movie, the way it's edited, it makes it very clear how movies are made, where like you do one person's coverage and then you do the other person's coverage and then you put it together. Because there were a few edits where someone would like say a line and it would cut to the other person and they just sort of like stood there and then they'd say their response, like in a very weird and unnatural way where you can tell that they just left in like the pre-roll.
So maybe
Oh,
needs
that's weird.
like a little tightening in the edit.
It needs a
bay,
little
is
bit
what
Yeah,
it
so
tightening
that's a
up.
bad editing.
Yeah, I think they probably couldn't do that because they're like, our movie is only an hour and 15 minutes long. We have to use all of this footage.
One of those.
So, yeah. So it has like a lot of sort of lingering things. It has some special effects, but it also has characters looking at things and reacting to them in horror, and then you don't actually see what it is. Now, a lot of times that can be cool. That sometimes it's very obvious that it's because they didn't have the budget to do whatever it is they wanted to do.
Like on a Smallville or a Stargate where they say the helicopter's coming but it never cuts to the helicopter, just
Right.
Yeah, there's
them-
like lots of wind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Like blah, 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 blah. This movie does have a helicopter. It has some beautiful drone footage of a helicopter flying around Hawaii, and from what I could tell, they actually put these young actors right in that helicopter and
Ooh.
flew them around, so that's unusual. But if you like tropey, dumb, teenish horror movies, like Until Dawn or what was that one with the ship, the good ship, Merida,
Man of Medan.
Man of Medan, then you might like this because it was very much like that, except not a game, it's a movie.
Do you think that they could have like taken inspiration from like masters of the genre, like The Birds or Psycho or Ghost Ship, and really shown how to make that first act compelling?
Well, here's another thing I noticed. So this movie takes place over, I would say, no more than like 3 days. And I swear, I did not rewind to verify this, but I swear that like on the first day, one of the actors has a longer beard than he does in the rest of the movie. Now, it's totally possible that the character decided to like have a nice trim and shave and tightened it up after the introduction scene. But I did not feel that that was like indicated in his character arc. Just a very unusual choice for a film.
Right.
The Resort. Probably didn't watch it, but I did. Let's see. I also leveled up. I saw a picture of David Dastmalchian with his cat, and the cat was dressed in a little polka dot man costume that the costume designer of Suicide Squad had made for the cat. A lot of people shared this with me and like tagged me in internet threads with
I wonder why.
with it, and yeah, it made me very mad because I don't want things that cute in the world. It's not right. It's not right. Like, aren't things cute enough? Don't we have Pokemon? Don't we have babies? Like, why? Why are you trying to like one up everything else? Now nothing looks cute by comparison. It's terrible.
Not even a Pokemon or a baby?
Pokemon and babies are so cute.
Yeah. I did get these like counterfeit Pokemon statues. I'm pretty sure they're counterfeit. I won them from a claw machine that came in the mail. From what I could tell online, these little Pokemon statues were exclusively sold at the Pokemon Center in Japan through vending machines. And it's like a set of Pikachu dressed as Eevee and Eevee dressed as Pikachu. But the ones I got were not all ones from that particular set. And also, they weren't packaged the same way they were in the vending machine. And the paint job seems kind of dull. Like, it has a Squirtle, and the Squirtle is like kind of like a blue eraser color, if that makes any sense. You know, like, he's not bright. The paint is sort of offset in a couple places, but they're very cute. And then a friend of mine, not knowing about these particular figurines, sent me one of those 3D lamp things with Pokemons in it. I'd never mentioned Pokemon to her, and I don't really consider myself a huge Pokestan. Now I got this shelf, and all it's got is these Pokemon figurines and the Pokemon lamps. I guess I love Pokemon now.
What about your Squirtle and Psyduck?
I do love the Squirtle. It kept me safe through a haunted house. Psyduck is the only Pokemon worth talking about.
Okay.
And I adore him. And I want to make him a little polka dot man outfit and dress him in it. Finally, I worked about 62 hours this week at my job, which I do have. Put that in your Vanessa notebook. I do have a job. And that is why I will only be joining you for the level up and not the main episode. I apologize to the listeners. I apologize to Jim. And I apologize to John. But that...
You chose this game.
I know. I chose this game, and I love this game. And I actually did play a significant amount of the chunker, but I gotta go to bed. I just gotta. It's 9:00 on Sunday night when we're recording this, and although I only worked 4 hours today, it was on top of a very long week, and I gotta go to bed. I gotta go to sleep, but I don't have to go to work until 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, so
Hey.
it's essentially a vacation. But I'll stay in here how you guys leveled up because I care.
Oh,
Matt,
that's nice.
how did you level up?
Ooh, hey, I did some leveling up for sure. Like I always do. I watched the new episode, the first episode, and that's why I want to talk about it, of Marvel's newest Disney Plus show, What If? It's not a very good name for a show.
I want to watch it so bad, but I didn't want to watch it while I was working because I wanted to give it its full attention, and all I did was work. And that's why I watched The Resort, because you can put it on and not pay any attention at all.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to spoil it. It's great. I think that people should check it out. It does feel like it because if you watch the end of Loki and the events of what he made happen there, this following it up makes a lot of sense. So it kind of does feel in continuity in that way, in like a rough way, which is fun. And the animation looks great. It looks a lot like the similar animation that Warner Brothers is using for the DC animated universe movies right now, which does seem to be like 3D models with like cell shading, which usually does look pretty bad. But both Warner Brothers and Disney seem to have figured it out because frankly, it looks great. There's some great like Disney expressions and stuff I saw on the faces that really made me happy. I wasn't sold on the first episode. The advertisements made it clear that it was going to be Captain Carter, and as the first story, and it was. And I wasn't sold on the idea. I know that people love Peggy Carter, but not the biggest stan over here. But you know what? It won me over quickly, and I don't want to say anything else because there are some fun little twists and turns. Guessable, but entertaining nonetheless. And I think everybody should check it out. I also saw the first two episodes of of Square Roots official show. That's right. MTV's The Challenge is back, baby.
Oh.
You have a Milton of your own, right, on that show?
I did watch The Challenge, and I know that we got some listeners out there that are big challenge heads like me. I watched the pre-show, which I don't usually do, and the first episode, because really the pre-show was just kind of the first episode. Like, actually,
like
the first episode. Yeah, I was really excited. I love The Challenge. It's so exciting. So what they've done this year is they've only half of the cast are returning. Usually a good chunk of the cast is returning, but only half of the cast is returning, and instead they've pulled in half of the cast from European Viacom reality television spinoffs. So, for example, one man very excitedly explained to the camera that he was on Warsaw Beach, which is like Jersey Shore, but in Poland. And I did laugh my fucking head off. They have several Survivor winners this year, as well as Survivor other country winners. Survival Nigeria, Turkey, England, Germany, maybe a couple other countries. There's a lot of international representation.
I had no idea there were so many survivors.
I didn't either. So MTV is owned by Viacom. Viacom also owns CBS. So in recent years, they've been injecting Big Brother and Survivor and other Viacom reality show people into the show. And I didn't realize they had this huge European market of like knockoffs of their own shows.
Do they go to that same Survivor Island where all of the U.S. Survivor is filmed now?
No, the challenge takes place usually at like
Not the
around
challenge,
one location.
the other
Talking
Survivor
about international,
iterations.
Survivor.
Oh, I don't know. Why would I know that?
I don't know. You knew They existed, which is more than I knew.
Well, I knew it because I watched the challenge the other day. Anyway, so check out the challenge because it's really fun. It's very multicultural this year, and it is actually pretty entertaining. They've got people from Romania. They've got some real wild characters, and they've got a real rowdy cast. So I'm looking forward to that. And if you're a challenge fan, come check it out. And if you're not a challenge fan, why not? It's America's 5th major sport. It's really funny watching these people alternately get super drunk and scream at each other and then try to do physical challenges the next day, which they clearly can't do. That's how I leveled up. What about Jim?
Let's see. Oh, hey guys, I told you all week to watch this movie, and obviously nobody did, because if you did, it would have been your level up. But I watched
Not
a
only
movie
did I not watch it, I'm
called
going to walk away while you
Pig.
talk about it. Okay. Jim, I heard that Pig was just the movie Blade, except from the vampire's perspective.
that would have been cool, and I probably
Vanessa.
still would have been my level
Yeah.
up, but that's not what the movie was about.
I heard
Get in on
that
this.
Pig was just John Wick, but with a pig instead of a dog.
No,
Oh, wow.
see, the setup is
I
almost
heard that
exactly
the movie
that.
Pig was just the Royal Tenenbaums, but from the weird outsider's perspective, the pig.
I heard that the movie Pig was the story of a pig that wants to be a sheep herding dog, but it's told entirely from Nicolas Cage, like the person's perspective, and he's just in the stands watching the competition.
Like it all takes place in his mind. No, it's not what it's about.
I heard that Pig is just the 3 little pigs, but Nicolas Cage plays the big bad wolf.
I wish that's what the movie was.
I
But
heard
no,
the movie
Johnny has never
Pig.
looked so miserable in his life. I'm sorry that you hate this bit, Johnny, and I'm ready to move on and let Jim talk about his level up.
I heard
Okay,
it was
the
about a
movie
big pig
Pig.
named Ocha.
It's not. Isn't it Ocha, not Ocha?
I
Didn't we
heard
go over
that
this the other
Pig
day?
was just Suicide Squad, except from the rebels' perspective.
No, but I'll tell you what Pig
That's
is
why
about.
it's so short.
Pig
I heard
is
that
about.
Pig was about Christina
Oh my
Ricci,
God.
and she has a pig nose, and she has to like hide it under scarves and things.
Ooh,
No.
I would watch that. That also sounds weirdly attractive. Ooh. I hope that I don't. What does he say, John? I hope this doesn't awaken anything in me.
All right, Pig. Really quickly, Pig is about.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know.
No, I know. I'm just waiting for you
I don't
guys to
think it's a
interrupt
real
me.
movie.
Okay. Pig is about Nicolas Cage is
I heard that
a
Pig is
hermit
just
that
Naruto,
lives
but
in the
from the
woods,
perspective
and he lives in the woods with his
I heard
pet
that Pig
truffle
was
pig.
about Liam Neeson's pig, and it goes on a trip
This
to
truffle
Europe.
pig is
And then
seemingly
it
his
calls
like
him,
only
and he's
friend.
like, "Oh,
And then
someone's
one
into
night,
my style.
somebody
What?"
steals
And
his prized truffle pig. So the rest of the film
they're
is
gonna
him
do is they're
with
gonna
his friend
take you.
Alex Wolf, the guy that he sells his truffles to,
2021
and
Stanley
it's
Cups, but from
them
the Puck's perspective.
going to Portland
call it
to
Pig.
try to find his truffle pig. And the setup is like, I think Vanessa had mentioned this, similar to like a John Wick, but with a pig. And that's definitely what you're led to believe the movie could become at like any time. But actually, it's a very somber and emotional look at what it's like to like lose something that you love. And it's just a very good poetic movie, which the trailer makes it seem like the opposite of that.
You are talking about a Nicolas Cage movie like it's Oscar material.
It
Get out of
is.
the Square
It
Roots
is.
house.
It is.
Walk
You
out
should see
of
it.
the front door.
It is. I thought it was a very moving film, and Nicolas Cage was great in it. And man, just after the last year and a half of like, you know, the movies that have been released to streaming, all the superhero stuff, like and the TV shows, the Disney shows, this was just so different, and I really enjoyed it. So check it out, guys. It's called Pig. It's on I think I rented it on Amazon Prime.
Oh, I'll have to
good.
check it out. It sounds. I still want to see Mandy and the Color of Space. Is that what that?
Those are both very good movies.
But
Nicolas Cage is great at them.
there is a warning: you can't watch more than one Nicolas Cage movie in a day. No marathoning.
Yeah. He just like overloads your senses.
Yeah, exactly. It's just too much for the human
Yeah.
mind to handle.
But I will say in Pig, he's probably, I mean, he doesn't even have a lot of dialogue. And the dialogue that he does have is super cutting and like really very meaningful. Everything in the movie is so meaningful. But yeah, I'm excited for you to watch it if you choose to do so.
Mm-hmm.
Well, John, how did you level up?
I forgot to mention this the other day. I went to the beach because it was a day off, and I was like, you know what? I don't want to sit at home. What use is sitting alone in your room? You know, that's sort of what I said. So I was like, I went to the beach and read. And then, so people who've been listening to this podcast since the beginning will have followed my journey into becoming more comfortable in water. And I was like, well, people say, oh, it's so fun to splash out into the water, you know, natural bodies of water, something I'm terrified of. So I was like, okay, I got some flip-flops on. I'm not wearing any socks. I'm wearing shorts. So everything's cool. I walked out to the water and then like slowly started sinking into the sludge that is this beach. Vanessa, I think that the beaches around Seattle have a similar
Yes, Johnny, they do. There's sort of a layer of mud and goose poop that makes up.
Yeah.
I used to swim in a lake in Seattle, Lake Union. It's a very big lake. Wait, no, it wasn't Lake Union. It was Lake
Tahoe.
No, oh my gosh, you can tell I'm not joking about how tired I am. I cannot remember the name of the other large. No, it's the one that's, in between Seattle and Bellevue. Lake Washington.
Sure.
Lake Washington?
Sure.
Lake Washington.
It's a very large, very big lake. And yeah, that's where I would swim. And for sure, it's full of mud and crud. And also very cold all the time, even in the summer.
Mm-hmm. Well, that part, I mean, it was a warm, smoky day, so that was not a problem. But, like, I wish someone had been there with me just to film my reaction of sinking into this disgusting muck. You know, just to really capture my face going, oh, this is what that's like.
Did you lose your shoes in it?
No, I managed to keep those. And I will say that after I walked back from the beach there's a place with a hose so you can hose yourself off, my legs felt like fresher and nicer than they'd ever felt before in my life. So maybe I got to find some better mud flats to try that in, because that was pretty nice, I gotta say.
Was this salt water or brackish water or fresh water?
This was salt water because, this was in the Georgia Strait near the airport. So there is a sewage outflow, which maybe contributes to the smell of
sort of
that
like
area.
Sewage, a little bit of
also,
salt, some jet fuel.
What your feet were sinking in, not totally mud, I bet.
Yeah, so, I'm going to try this again, maybe like in Florida, when I actually go hang out with Matt, maybe going to a nice beach instead of a horrible nightmare beach. But I'm trying my best. I downloaded some of those Game Pass games.
Ooh, what'd you get?
I tried Art of Rally yesterday. That game is not what I expected. I love the art style. It's sort of like retro, early polygon graphics, but it's one of those games where you can't customize your controls, and that's a big problem for me, because with driving games, like for muscle memory, I want them set up in a very specific way, so it's a problem that you can't do that with your controls. I also downloaded Katamari Reroll, which just came onto Game Pass. I haven't touched that yet. And I also downloaded The Ascent. So that'll be fun.
Have you tried it yet?
No, I haven't tried it yet.
Ooh, I played like an hour of it today.
What do you think?
Ooh, I liked it. I'm usually not into like twin stick shooters, and like I'm actually really terrible at them. But I thought this one was fun, and the setting is just super Like, everything is so well realized in the world. It's very neat. And the voice acting is good, and, there's a little character creator in it where you can do a few things. It's just, it's a fun game.
Well, that sounds neat. How
Yeah.
about we head over to the Leaf and start reading our Cactus Diaries?
Cactus diary time.
I think it is. That means Vanessa is going to disappear in a big puff of light. Like in this
That's
game.
right. I want to say goodnight to the listeners. I want to say goodnight to Jim, to John, and I want to say goodnight, Matt.
Good night.
Good night, Moon. Good night, Room.
Good night, Cactus.
Are you just naming things you see?
Good night, Pelican.
Well, there's this a very famous story, Matt. It's called Good Night Moon. Have you...
Good night, Tampa Bay Lightning.
Oh.
Tampa.
So Matt,
Bay.
when I go to Tampa Bay, will you show me a beach that is not disgusting sludge? Because
Define that?
well, the
Like a
beaches around
sandy
Vancouver.
beach?
Yeah, like a nice sandy.
The
beach.
problem is that the real like sugar sandy beaches that are all gorgeous are also all absolutely loaded with people. I mean, yeah, absolutely. I can show you that. We just got to go at like 9 a.m. on a Friday.
That's fine.
It's at Thursday
Yeah,
morning.
do it during a weekday. I don't care.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. The beaches around here are gorgeous. And there's different kinds. There's the like cultivated, like but packed beaches, like kind of like what you would expect to see at a beach, like a popular beach. And then there's the smaller beaches that are still like sugar sand, but too tend to have more like sea life and stuff around, and
That
like
sounds
vegetation.
that
and
sounds
stuff.
like a Johnny Beach. Like I don't want to
Yeah, they're
go
great.
for like deep swims. I just want to like wade.
Put
Yeah.
your feet in
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
sit on the side in the sand. Yeah, that's that beach. That one is 10 minutes from my house.
Oh well, let's go there.
And that includes parking and walking to the beach.
Yay!
Oh,
I wanted to take Jim to the beach, but we never got around to it. We just kind of toured the area instead.
Well,
We did.
Oh well, we went to Clearwater Beach.
I'll talk Vanessa
Yeah.
into taking the train down too.
Yeah, I'll come too.
Yeah.
There's no trains.
What?
This is
Is there
Florida.
really no train down the East Coast?
Once you cross the Georgia-Florida line, everything stops. Like there's just it's not even like a stop sign. There's just
All
the tracks
infrastructure.
just stop. Yeah, all infrastructure stops because that's commie bullshit or something. I don't know. That's what the cult in power says.
Wait,
so
but
that's what we're
Ayn
doing
Rand
around
loves
here.
trains.
I don't know what Ayn Rand has to do with it.
Trains.
I can't. I
That's a
am
good point. Thank you, Johnny.
okay. On that note, I'll leave you to it.
How about we look at the leaf where the cactus wrote its diaries? The Cactus Diaries. So we've divided this up into there's a few story arc quests, and then there's a few solo stories. And I think Matt would like us to do the solo stories first, right, Matt?
Yeah, we're gonna try to focus on the solo stories first because the story arcs themselves are a little more complex, and I'm afraid that if we save the solo stuff for the end, we'll be screaming at each other and begging to not talk about it. So,
Okay.
our first mission this week is the field trip, where we use the dragon bone as fuck to create the Bone Fortress. Fortress. This is the boys episode, right?
Yeah, guys,
Finally.
nice.
If you
I
usually
took her
listen,
to the Bone
tonight might not be
Fortress.
your night because I'm going to start burping soon and it's not going to stop.
Oh boy. I wish I had beers.
You know what? I'm not cutting the vapes either.
All right, so
We go to
Bone
the Bone
Fortress.
Fortress, and you think that it's going to be like something crazy, but instead it's like an archaeological dig.
Yeah.
it's really silly.
Bone Zone.
And this is a simple event. There are 3 boys on these screens that have the crap you need to collect, and then once you get it, you give it to the boy that wants it, and that's kind of it.
Yeah,
to be honest with
it's
you.
the students from Mr. Mistopheles' class, I believe.
Yeah, Memphis Sales or whatever.
Yeah, it's his students, so they're all there just doing some collections. There's nothing too shocking going on. So the gimmick in this one is that there's a bunch of students. Each one's found a different herb. You have to talk to the 3 correct ones, and then they make a potion, and that is the event.
Yeah, all it amounts to is talking to everybody on the screen, and then game over.
Hey, speaking
next up-
of Memphis Sales, we meet him in the next event, or I guess it's called Can't Look Back. And this is where we come upon the guy in the snowfields. You got to use the Frozen Heart AF to unlock the snowfields. And then you find him, and he's like looking for his brother.
Yeah. His brother went to what was it? Find a source of power. Is that right?
I don't remember.
The little cactus describes it as, I remember the part about a sorcerer named Mephiant, but I don't remember anything else because I sort of fell asleep. I hope my master didn't see me sleep. So he's brought his class to the snowy fields, and in the snowy fields you can walk around, you meet them, and he talks about how he's there looking for his brother. You go do a sort of walk around the snow, and eventually you walk into the witch.
They keep telling you that a witch is blocking the way, but when you do finally meet the witch, she's basically just like, I'm just stopping people from going this way because there's a deadly monster. Mm-hmm. And then if you talk to the right people, a lot of the quests in this involve talking to the right person, sometimes the right number of times, which is not always indicated.
Yeah.
It's never indicated.
Frustrating. Yeah. But if you talk to the professor enough, he shows up with the witch, and you realize that the monster is his brother. He went to go find something about the fairies. He wants to capture fairies, and so in order to do that, he's like made himself a beast, I guess, is the gist here. It's a little weird.
And
but he's like lost his mind, and the witch is like, go put your brother out of his misery. And the guy's like, I can't do that. So guess what that means?
There's a lot of that in this
my
game.
Dude and his robot of destruction are going to go fuck this guy up.
Oh, speaking of robots of destruction, I now have a candy spitting out robot. It does cower in the corner most of the time, but then sometimes it like shoots laser beams and spits out candy. So it's getting better.
Yeah.
I need to do that.
We'll talk about it later in the episode because at the end of the episode, but I did, I guess I should say now that I did manage to fill out a logic block, or like a logic node, which is the Tetris thing that you put, like I filled it to 100% completion basically. And my golem now is just a fucking straight badass. Like it does kind of sit in the corner. And it does spend about half the time like pooping candy and casting barrier on itself and charging its attacks. But when it decides to attack, it's fucking great. Like it shoots whirlwinds across the screen. It's got these like chain guillotines that it uses. It does this great move where it fires out a bunch of like black gravity looking balls and they fucking shoot everything on around it. It's fucking dope.
I did get that. Sometimes it'll pop out these balls that shoot lasers. It's very cool.
Bits or something bits.
I've got a question for you though. Can you raise or change your golem stats after you make it?
No.
Oh. See, that's one thing.
Once you made it, you made it. You make it out of materials, and that's what it bases all of its stats on. So the best columns are going to be made out of the best materials, and once you do that...
Yeah, I should try... Because I still have 2 more balls that I can make, so I'll try making a second golem. Maybe this one will be a bit better.
Well, you just want to make sure that you're using, like, the highest quality equipment, basically. Like, whatever the highest... Like, if the best quality sword that you can get another one and use that.
Yeah.
But really, yeah, that helps some. Like, they malfunction less because they do have a malfunction percentage, and they have more health.
But I really
there's 3 types. There's like guillotine, chainsaw, guillotine, chainsaw, and something else. And that does change what blocks they can equip, so it can be kind of a pain. But I mean, it's well worthwhile to have a fucking golem along with you just to blast shit. It knocks shit out of my way. It drops candy for me when it's, I don't know. It's not always great, but it's pretty good.
I really enjoy the monster raising though, so I think I might more concentrate on that. But I it's still hard to find monster eggs. Like I understand where they are, but they don't always show up, and I don't know why. But I'll take another night this week and just sort of wander around and see if I can get some more monster eggs, because I like monster raising, and it's fun. Right now, the most powerful one I have is Stangerous, which is a Malboro, so it does do lots of like crazy status effects, which is really fun.
Yeah, that's what mine does too. I'm pretty attached to my little Marlboro friend, to be honest. Like I sent you guys a clip of it in our group chat on PSN today, but like my Marlboro guy, whenever like your characters like in like a scripted event move to the other side of the screen, he doesn't move with them. He moves at like his regular speed, so he still just like slowly moves
and the
across
event
the screen.
will not start until he gets
until
there.
he's all the way over.
Yeah, I posted that on Twitter with Stangerous just wrecking a dramatic scene.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great. So so you kill his brother, and Mephiant is thankful and sad because his brother had lost himself completely to being in this monstrosity. But yeah, that's the end of that little chunker. Let's talk about the next one, which is La Cage du Dreams. La Cage de Rêves, I guess. Du Rêves? I don't know. I haven't spoken French in a while. Yeah, hold on. I just got to go to my events guide for a second. Which one was that? The Cage of
This
Dreams.
is the one where
The
you
Cage of
find the dead
Dreams.
Sproutling.
Oh,
Yeah.
this one's fun. This is another fun little one.
Yeah. A lot of these solo ones are great. The fucking siren song is wild.
Is that a solo one? I thought that
Anyway.
was about the penguins and everything.
No.
Oh.
Nope.
Oh. Or the soldiers. The soldiers. Isn't the siren song related to that one where you're solving the mystery of the ghost with the mouse?
That's not what we're talking about right now.
Oh, okay. So, when you get back to your place, your cactus is outside, and he's there with a bunch of his Sproutling friends, and one Sproutling is not moving anymore, guys.
He's dead.
He's dead, and the Sproutling's like, oh no, this is great.
Yeah, they're really happy about it. Well, like I didn't quite understand what they were talking about, because they said when they die they return to the man. He's one of the Sproutlings specifically says their energy is from another dimension.
Mm-hmm. And they're all like one hive mind in the other dimension. But when they come to this one, they become individuals, and they're like, it's really good when you die, because then you get to go back there and be back in your family. And it was sort of like a, what do you call that? Place the next AF? Oh, never mind. I'm just reading a guide. So you talk to the cactus about it. He's very confused. You go to the workshops, and who's there with Pokeel? Because Pokeel's talking, and
There's like a stained glass.
Oh,
thing.
that's right. It's that crazy, like, remember that Gautier video for someone you used to know? That face is there, and it's just this big, creepy glass face.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like a wizard.
Yeah, it's called the Sorcerer with this kind of Picasso face. That was pretty neat. There's a great moment where the witch is sort of telling off Mephiant, and she's like, "Make eye contact when you're talking to me."
Yeah.
Boys' night. But basically the the sorcerer has had enough of the like circle of life poetry that Pokeel is reading. He's like, this means nothing. What are you talking about? He's like, no, it returns to the energy and becomes part of mana, and you just don't understand mana. And the sorcerer is like, whatever. And then you end up in another dream world, which is one of the, when you talk to Pokeel, and that's like one of those like sort of dimensions out of time, and you do get to see the Sproutling.
Yeah, this is where you meet little cactus. They just kind of explain that they believe that they're like gonna reincarnate, basically. Like, it's not.
I remember you see a Sproutling, but I don't remember what it says.
So they do say one of the crazier things in the story is just how basically the Sproutlings are like, yeah, we don't eat, we just survive from love. Love is the thing. And remember that one Sproutling that will transport you, and all you have to do is give him love, is because that's what they literally survive off of, is love. And he's like, thank you. So you talk to that weird, creepy, floaty sorcerer guy, and the other creepy floaty sorcerer guy, which is different. It looks sort of like
So silly.
a floating ragdoll with a star hat. And so the sorcerer is like, hey, you actually do not want the Sproutling to die. So the reason that the sorcerer, the big creepy goat yay face thing, does not want the Sproutlings to be returned to the earth is because if it does, this will revive the mana tree, which is a problem because the mana tree is, every time it's been there has been like every time it's existed, and this is referencing basically Final Fantasy Adventure / Sword of Mana and Secret of Mana and Trials of Mana. Every time it's existed, evil people want to take its power. And the sorcerer just wants to stop the cycle because if the Sproutling dies, then it will go and reform the tree, which does happen in this chunker. Spoiler alert. So there's the sorcerer with the creepy circle, and then there's another one called Nunu-Zak, who, this is one that Pokeel knows. And I think Nunu-Zak's the one with the weird star hat. And sorcerer's like, we're better off without the mana tree. It just causes a cycle of destruction. And then Nunu-Zak's like, nah, dude, love is power, and we need this love, and we need the mana tree. And so then you go follow the Sproutling through like some form of underworld. And I've recorded a little clip of this. And you find it. Then Stan, you'll like
slowly moves across the screen. Yeah,
this dramatic scene is interrupted by watching a Marlboro slowly make his way.
And like a couple times in the chunker, the Marlboro did move, but most of the time it didn't. It's really strange.
And that's basically it. So in the end, the Sproutling is returned to the mana tree, which does mean the mana tree is coming back. And that is the Cage of Dreams. After this, you'll get the artifact of the Sword of Mana, which is related to, say, the Sword of Mana, from Final Fantasy Adventure / Sword of Mana.
There was a mana sword. Was there a mana sword in Secret of Mana?
There sure was.
That's what I thought.
And I bet there's one in Trials of Mana, although I haven't played it. Next up is a very fun one. Did you get this one, Jim? Seeing Double?
Yes, I did.
This one was a lot of fun. Seeing Double, you get to the town of, was it Lormar?
Domina.
Domina.
Yeah.
And then you just walk in and see yourself just really kicking the crap out of a Sproutling and stealing its leaves.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, this is weird. And you go to the Sproutling, or actually you watch your double, you're trying to find your double, and you see him like terrorize a couple of more Sproutlings and tear off leaves. And it goes back to one of the Sproutlings like, uh-oh, there's green stuff pouring out of this one. That's probably a bad sign. and
then you have to go to Tipo house, right?
Mm-hmm. For the saddest scene.
Tipo being bullied by the onion head guy.
Mm-hmm.
And the onion head guy knows that Tipo has been like hoarding pumpkins in his teapot.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I want those pumpkins. And he says,
teapot.
oh, hers. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's like, I want those pumpkins.
Mm-hmm.
And so, in order to get them, the onion head guy threatens Tipo with putting an anthill on her back
Mm-hmm.
that will just be really super itchy.
Mm-hmm. And she's like, you don't know how itchy that anthill will be. I guess she's, I can't really do Jessica Fletcher / what's her name? The actress who does the teapot in Beauty and the Beast. Angela
Lansbury.
Yeah. So then you do follow this double, and you get to the pumpkin patch that he has recreated. This is the same pumpkin patch as from Bud and Lisa's little quest, and you fight him. He turns into this little tiny guy.
He looks like Plankton from SpongeBob.
I don't know that reference, but I'm sure you're right. So you fight this little tiny guy and wreck him.
I thought this boss fight was kind of difficult.
Yeah.
This guy's punches took a lot of health off.
Which one are we on?
Seeing double.
Seeing double.
Thanks.
But yeah, this little boss guy, he packed a punch. He KO'd me once.
I couldn't do this one. I don't know. So I said to, I've mentioned that I started off using one guide that Vanessa told me to use, and then she changed her mind, but I had already started. So my lands didn't match up with the guide that I was using, and now I think that has finally come back to haunt me because some of these side quests I could not do.
I've managed to make, like, my lands are no longer in the same places as they're suggested, but so far I haven't had any problems yet with them.
I assume it's because I didn't put the Tree of Mana next to Domina because Domina was already surrounded by stuff.
Ah, okay.
And that seems to be what triggers this event. So
no,
I could
that
not do
actually triggers the other quest in this chunker, the Wee Birdie. Like each place
Same
has
with that. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, each place has basically like a magic rating based on what's around it. And the mana rating of Domina has to be above a certain threshold, and it will only get over the threshold if you plant the mana tree right next to it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, so far I've been able to do every single one, but yeah, right now I'm a little off. I wouldn't say I'm like 20% off of where I should be, I think, and maybe like a square or two off. Like it's not too bad so far. So you return and you can tell Tipo that it wasn't actually the onion, and Tipo's happy. I do like every time Tipo gets upset, like she's like, "Oh, I'm leaking, I'm sloshing." And there's a great art of that creepy double guy from there at the end of the mission that I really like. He's just got this. I don't know. He looks like a weird pustule face.
Yeah, that whole thing, like, they didn't give you any context for what was going on or why. It's just the one time there was a double of you beating up Sproutlings.
I love the little end cards at the end of each event.
I screen cap every single one of those. They all look so cool.
I also screen cap almost all of the little cactuses comments on each story. The art is gorgeous too. Like
it does. The game looks fantastic. The art is great. The gallery looks great if you've got the new version. The backgrounds look great. So all these levels that we're gonna go to, they look fucking fantastic.
The ship,
so detailed.
The ship looks incredible.
Yeah, that ship is real fun to walk around. So what's the next one here? Wee Birdie.
This is the one I got locked out of because my mana tree was too far from Domina.
Yeah.
This is a strange one. I mean, they're all pretty weird, especially like the goofy ones are all pretty insane. But you go to the inn, and there's that is it a chickadee? No, it's some kind of flightless bird. The big fat bird lady.
Mm-hmm.
She's there. And she's like, it's a special day. my bird buddy is gonna have or is gonna mutate? Is that what's happening?
I don't know. I like hearing you describe it though.
Oh yeah, you haven't played this. I'm just trying to see if I have any screen caps of it. I don't think I do. Because
Doesn't it have something to do with how fragile he is?
he is,
Because like if you talk to him too many times, he'll break.
yeah. Oh, I remember. Okay, I remember this one. This one took me an hour. This one literally
didn't
took
have
me
all
an
the
hour,
stuff?
Because so basically, Pee-wee, to I guess progress to its next form of evolution, requires that you have a big list of stuff. And the guide's like, oh, you should already have this. I literally used the flat seed right before doing this because I've been keeping up with the tree thing. Getting
Gotta get that fruit, baby.
So unfortunately, I didn't have this last seed, and the downside of these seeds is that's one of those seeds you cannot buy. I couldn't find any enemies that generated the seed. I walked around everywhere, like grinding, looking for seed. And then eventually I just also kept returning and getting more fruits. And that's the way you get a flat seed, is you just keep growing more fruits, and eventually the tree will spit out another one. But yeah, it took me literally an hour to get the stupid seed. So that was this one. And then you do it, and the Pee-wee evolves to the next stage. The chickadee lady is real happy. But apparently, yeah, if you talk to this Pee-wee too many times, it explodes and you fail the mission.
Wow.
Which is great. I didn't do that. I should have, just to see what happened. But I was so happy to finally have that flat seed. I didn't want to risk anything. All right. Where's Putty is a great one. So you remember those little Doug bears, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Putty is amazing. Let's just be clear. Please scroll down to the bottom of your notes to get a good look at.
I saved an
end
image
screen.
of Putty. I know what Putty looks like. Putty's a buddy. Putty is a wild and crazy dog. Putty's the leader of the Doug Bears. And
The king of the Doug Bears.
wasn't they call Putty a prophet?
Did they? I missed
I
that.
thought he was a prophet, but he's like guiding the Doug Bears. And Putty's adorable.
Putty goes missing because the penguins kidnap Putty because they want to rule the land and the sea.
Mm-hmm.
And Putty, you don't get a great look at as it like runs away and hides in a barrel.
Well,
And
Putty
then
gets
eventually-
you walk in there, and Putty's being escorted out of the Doug Bear caves by two pinglings.
Yeah.
And so you got to go back to the. We'll talk about it when we get there, but the pinglings have a ship, and you have to go back to the ship, and he is hiding in a barrel, which is wonderful. And
Yeah, they kidnap him, and
Mhm.
but then when you get there, they don't know where he is, and you find him hiding in a barrel, and he runs out.
Yeah,
and then
he-
you have to go to the beach.
yeah, you got to get off the ship by talking to the captain, and he will. If you say you don't like his ship, he will kick you off of it, and that is the way that you get out. And then you could go. Yeah, you got to go to the beach in one of the other locations you've unlocked, and he will be there. And
Yeah, it's called Madeira Beach, which makes me laugh because I live next to a place called Madeira Beach.
there's this big dumb guy, another big dumb guy, who follows around the Doug Bears, and he's like Putty's protector, and he's just like bullying you around to get Putty back. He's like, "This is your fault too, you know." How? How is this
It's
my
not.
fault? You're partially responsible. And he's just super happy.
It's like Gilbert and the Lamps. Like the game is just like, well, you didn't really have anything to do with this, but do it anyway.
Yes, I want to, pawn off these lamps for you so I can get my sweet, sweet siren. Yeah, you do find out more about the lady that he was trying to impress in this chunker, too.
John, that's not what we're talking about right now.
Well, that's not what you're
At the
talking
end
about.
of this quest, you find Madeira. You find Putty at Madeira Beach, and Putty, the penguin. Is it the penguins? No, the
Dugbears.
Dugbears show up, as well as the weird dude that is the only person that can talk on the screen. And but then it cuts to the end, and they take him home. They take Putty home. By the way, your king is named Putty. And the end screen, you realize that Putty, unlike the Dugbears, Putty, which are like dog men, Putty does seem to be like an actual dog that somebody has put clothes on and is forcing to stand upright, which is pretty great. And the only time you talk to Putty, Putty does like bark, I think, or growl. So I think that Putty might actually just be like somebody's pet that they have started calling King of the Dugbears.
That's pretty amazing.
Anyway, what's after that, Jim?
Catching
Where's Putty?
Lilipeas.
This is actually a great quest. So we head to the White Forest, and Sotheby is there, along with, I can't remember their names. It's Skippy and Handsome. And Sotheby sends Skippy and Handsome out into the woods to find some Lilipods.
Now,
Lilipods or
Handsome's the one
something.
you say is one of my problematic faves, where you don't think he's smart enough for me to think is cute.
Yeah, yep,
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
yeah. I mean, that's not a joke, really. Like,
He's
like,
a pretend character. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
He's not
That's
real.
a good point. That's fair. That's a good point. And that's why it's okay for me to drool over, like, teenage girls in
No,
anime,
no.
because that's
different.
pretend.
That's different.
Right, guys?
It's different. That's
It's
different.
just pretend.
Jim,
That's different.
they're actually 1,000 years old. So who's the idiot now?
So creepy, so gross. Anime was a mistake. Anyway, you head into the forest and you do chase down Skippy and Handsome, and they have like a fucking revolutionary moment where they're like, "Why are we working for this guy?" Who, by the way, Sotheby has told these people they owe him a huge debt and
Yeah.
that they have to work to pay it off, and I don't think it's true. I think that this is just
Yeah, I think he is taking advantage.
problematic
He's-
labor.
Yeah, he's taking advantage of them for sure. He's like, you gotta catch the Lilipeas, and then you can recognize them because they have eggs on their head. Because they do have it. They're like these little guys with eggs on their, like they're sort of.
That gets explained later.
Yeah.
So you do eventually. Here's the thing: you also run across a Reverend Novell, who I could not tell what the fuck this thing was supposed to be.
Yeah, he's got a creepy like artificial. He looks like. Did you ever see that movie with the little voodoo doll guy? And it was like a computer animated movie that came out 1,000,000 years ago about this voodoo doll looking guy. It was kind of like a creepy
The
looking.
Crow.
No, it's like a little animated
Lawnmower
kids movie, but he was like a creepy
Wizard of
little stitched together sack boy kind of thing. Remember?
Sackboy.
Oh.
You talking
That's
about
a
the movie
game.
9?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that.
Yeah.
That's one of those ones that was on
Coheed and
Netflix for like
Cambria
2 years,
contributed to
and
the
the
score for
kids
that movie.
kept seeing the ad for it and would be like, nah. Anyway, Skippy and Handsome finally realize that they're being taken advantage of, and they do leave. And the game does do this weird thing where Skippy's like, I'm done with this. I'm gonna go make my own legend, and it does like an event start screen where it's like Skippy's legend.
That's so Legend of Skippy. They're like, yeah.
And then it does the same
Yeah.
thing with Handsome. And then they're both like, let's go.
I like-
And then they
did
look
you
at each
freak
other and they're
out?
like, but not with each other. Fuck you. And they like go in opposite directions.
I freaked out. I was like, oh no, did I start another event accidentally? But no, it's just I like this game plays around with its UI in fun ways. Like sometimes it'll go back to the map screen so you can get like a wide angle view of something that happens.
Yeah.
And it does this. I love it. I'm all for a game like I think Earthbound did this a couple of times too, where it's like messing with you and the UI.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, you do, once they're gone, you are able to get into the Lilipea village, and the Reverend is there, and he does tell you that they are like golems that somebody made that took the magic like thread and created more of themselves. So that's creepy as fuck. There are little dolls, like little sack dolls with birds' nests on their heads. And their chief has a bird living on his head, and that's how you can talk to
What do they say? Paw?
the chief.
Paw? Or
Is
something?
that yes. Yeah, but if you talk to the chief, the bird shakes its head and nods. So that's how you talk.
Oh, but that was great because
It's funny.
yeah, the Reverend's translating, and you can talk to all of them for you. He has to be next to them, and he slowly walks over. He walks across the screen in like 4 minutes, so you can't talk to the chief until he makes his way to the other side of the screen. But you can talk to all the other ones. But eventually, when he does start decoding what the elder's saying, the elder's like, so there's something you want to show us, a great treasure. The elder's like, no. Okay. Is it an important artifact? He's like, no. Is it a big scary monster? And he's like, no. Yes. And he's like, well, do you want us to kill it? He's like, yes. And will there be a great reward? And he's like, no. and then the last thing the Reverend said is, do you understand what we're saying? And he just says, no.
But they do teleport you to a field where you do have to kill a big monster, and then it teleports you back and it's like, thanks.
The elder was very grateful. Lilipeas are most aware the bourgeois madame is crazy for them. I think he's talking about Tipo, because she's the bourgeois madame. Catchin Lilipeas.
All right. Well, that's it for our big
Look at these
run
guys.
of. Yep. That's it for our big run of solo stuff. Now, we do have some story stuff to get through. Most of this is going to be Dragon Arc, but there's some Jumi, Penguin Arc, and some Fairy Arc as well. So let's kind of dig through this. Starting with our first major story event of the night, the Ghost of Nemesis.
Big black
Actually, there's not a lot to
Nemesis.
this.
Sega Genesis. No one knew the muscle till the dead come home.
This one starts in the Underworld because you have to take Lark with you. We talked about Lark a bit last time, but I want to revisit him. If you guys want to look, it's in the notes section too. We do have a good pick of Lark, and he is a dog lizard.
He's a doggy. He's a big old wolfy wolf. I didn't realize
like a dinosaur wolf.
you could actually take him. I thought you could, if you took him, you could only do quests relating to him, but you could actually use him as a backup for any of the quests until the end of this quest chain.
I think that's true for all of them, isn't it?
I didn't know that.
Anyway, Lark's pretty cool design. Red armor, dog face, like wolf face, but he has lizard hands and a lizard tail, which makes me assume that the body is lizard, even though he does have fur on his top half. So does that mean he has a dino butt?
I think he's more dragon than dino because he's a dragoon and he's got dragon parts like bolted onto him there.
Yeah, but he's got like a wolf. He's got like a dog snout.
Yeah, I think he's a wolf who
definitely.
like got merged to become a dragoon. Him and Sierra.
That's interesting.
Sierra does not have dragon bits.
She doesn't?
She has dragon armor.
Oh.
Anyway, Ghost of Nemesis, we go pick up Lark, we take him to the Bone Fortress, and there is a dragon at the end of it that we have to kill. There's not a lot to it, but you'd have to fight the Deathbringer and then a couple of Jabaras, which I don't remember.
These are the bone dragons, right?
The Jabaras are just like these little dragon guys. They're kind of like medium, mid-boss types. But the bone dragon, yeah, it's weird that you fight kind of a big boss and then just a little unimportant boss right after.
Yeah.
But this is a big dungeon. I think this is the biggest
It
dungeon.
is, and that's
in
kind of the
game.
problem is there's not a lot to say about it, but it is you get dropped through the floor, you get separated from your party. You know, again, this game's gorgeous. So these backgrounds on the remaster look fantastic.
This felt like what like the in Chrono Trigger, the Reptite castle probably would have looked like if they could have rendered something like that.
Right. I mean, the only problem with the pacing is just that we're kind of marathoning this game, so having a couple of those big dungeons in a row does feel... It's nowhere near as bad as Rogue Galaxy with a literal 7-hour dungeon.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, the worst is maybe 30 minutes.
No, this game, a lot of this stuff happened at the front of the chunker. This game front-loaded a lot of the... It wasn't the game, but the chunker front-loaded a lot of the story stuff and back-loaded a lot of the bullshit. That's kind of why we flipped it. But anyway, you fight the Skeletal Dragons, and that's pretty much it for this. Lark, he gains the... His quest is to kill these dragons because it sends the mana back to his master, Draconis, who, by the way, let's go ahead and talk about Draconis' first form right now, because he definitely is just a white guy in a turban with a handlebar mustache.
Well, I don't know if he's supposed to be white, but yeah, he's definitely like an anime version of...
Johnny's got red hair and very pale skin.
I
don't know what else that could be.
He's like an anime version of a sultan. That's all. So he's got like sort of...
Yeah, Sultan Ginger. Ginger Sultan.
Yeah. Exactly. But also, like, his turban and stuff is more Indian subcontinent versus Middle Eastern. He's all over the place.
Yeah.
So much appropriation.
Yeah.
So
that would make
Draconis.
sense, actually, if he's a white guy.
He is Lark's. He's Lark's master. We're gonna learn more about Lark here soon, but at the beginning here, it's really just killing dragons. All right. Well, so we do the Ghost of Nemesis, and then we jump into the Dragon Princess event.
And the Dragon Princess being what turns out to be his sister, Sierra.
Yeah, you use the Tome of Magic as fuck to create the jungle. No, I'm sorry. You use the Tome of Magic to create Geo, but you don't go here. Now, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but this is like the best town in the game, and you want to make it hopefully as far away from your home as possible, because if it's not super far, it won't get the like level 4 gear that you need it to get.
Oh, interesting.
The guy told me not to go there.
Up,
should I go there anyways?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you have to go there at least once for this chunker.
I've never been there.
Yeah, me either.
Well, I went and fucked around and got some chaos crystals and shit, because I did get lucky. And even though my map's all fucked up, it did end up in a corner, so that helped. So anyway, you also use the green cane to create the white forest. This white forest is pretty great. And again, we're going to go grab Lark. And now this is the forest itself is a fun little dungeon. It's great looking, like all of these dungeons are, but there's not a lot to say about it. However, when you get to the end, you run across two new characters. One is a dragon, a big white, fluffy? Yeah. Flammy looking dragon.
Yeah.
But the other character is Lark's sister. She is a white dog person. Her face looks more cat maybe or fox than dog. And she does have like dragon armor on with like a unicorn horn helm or like headband. It's very strange. When you show up there, Lark is like, they argue basically. And so what you learn is that Lark is a dragoon and the dragoons protect the dragons. But Lark got killed and went to the Underworld, where he was corrupted by Draconis to kill all the dragons, which will bring Draconis back to life. And that's his sister is very upset about it. What's her name, guys?
Sierra.
Yeah, Sierra.
No, that's the...
Wait.
Isn't Sierra the dragon?
No, Sierra's the girl. That's the Dragon Princess.
Anyway, you battle Sierra, and of course we whoop her butt. Lark runs away, because now at this point, Lark is not our friend anymore. Mm-hmm. Lark bails, and you fight Sierra and the dragon, and I smacked him around. I don't know. Can you lose to this? Does anybody know?
Yeah, I think so, but it was an easy fight for me. I was like, I was wondering if there's going to be something, because you're fighting her, but you also are damaging him. Or no, sorry, they're both her. The dragon's a lady, too. And I wasn't sure if you were supposed to defeat Sierra without damaging the dragon or something. It's not very clear,
sure either.
But I just ended up just destroying both of them.
I liked
Basically she's like, hey, you know that Draconis is really a bad dude. That's what she's saying to Lark, and Lark's like, yeah, I know, but I'm gonna like go along with him and then defeat him. That's my thing.
Well,
so
we learn that later.
Well, he does
At this
say, he
point,
says
all
like,
we know is
he does
just
say
keeps
that,
saying
yeah.
like, you just have to trust me.
yeah, he's like, trust me, I know what I'm doing. He's not going to win. And she's like, I don't know if you got this, buddy. Yeah, so you do your your test of strength, and the dragon's like, oh, you are so strong. You're just the strongest, bestest boy or girl. We love you, and come help us finish this once and for all.
Next on the list is the Crimson Dragon, and this one's pretty cut and dry, actually. It's long, but it's pretty cut and dry. You're going to head to the Underworld. Lark isn't there this time. Instead, Sierra shows up. She asks for your help. Mm-hmm. You enter the Underworld. It takes some time to traverse the Underworld. Eventually, I ran into one of those disappearing shadows, and it was like, to the bottom with you. And I was like, ah, shit.
No, but that
and
helps.
I was like, oh, wait, there's a door there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, yeah, you go through a bunch of those face doors this time,
Mm-hmm.
which is a lot of fun.
So now what happens is you fight... you head through the Underworld, and you eventually run into Lark, and you face him, and he does transform into a big monster. And once you defeat him, the Underworld actually transforms on the map, and it becomes the Flames.
What is with those mini bosses that it throws in here? Like, this game doesn't use mini bosses a lot, but there were like 2 baby dragons or younger dragons that you had to fight on your way up there.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think there were mini bosses though. Thought they were
They use the boss music.
Yep. I know what's up with them, because so basically Draconis makes Lark fight on purpose because he wants Lark to die. When Lark dies, he takes his power. That's his whole plan with Lark in the first place, and that's how he transforms the Underworld into his fire tower place. So the only way to get to where he is in the fire tower is to defeat every single one of those stone guardians, and each one of them has like a different type of gem. And if you don't have that type of gem, it triggers a trap. So that's why there's there's like a ton of mini bosses in this particular.
Yeah, this
dungeon.
whole thing with the traps was a pain in the ass, but eventually you get through it. And at the top, you do have to face Draconis, and this time he transforms into his real form, which is a big fucking awesome looking red dragon. Did you see this?
This looked pretty cool.
This one gave me some trouble. He kept trapping me in a corner and breathing fire on me and killing me, and it was really frustrating. I also fucked up. I had like changed some of my skills around for a specific situation and then didn't change them back. So it really fucked me.
That's not
Suddenly,
good.
instead of all my like flips and dashes, I had crouch, and I was like, ah, shit.
But yeah, this is cool. You get like a lot of cool there's a lot of cool like graphic stuff happening right now with this boss fight. Like he flies in to the frame like from behind, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, he flies away, he dive bombs, the whole thing's pretty intense.
I love the look of this game is like a 16-bit, Super Nintendo or Genesis game, but blown up. Just made even it reminds you a lot of those later what's that Vanillaware? Like it made Odin Sphere and that one with those sexy dwarves. I can't golden axe of something. I don't remember. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, so this event is actually kind of nuts because what happens is eventually you defeat Draconis and it kind of ends the game.
It feels pretty
You get an
final.
extended cutscene where they do seem to imply that the game's over, but then at the end you just get kicked out back to the map screen and walk home. So it's pretty weird. But the end result is you defeat Draconis. Lark does not die. He does survive. He has to live 1,000 years in the Underworld to like pay for his crimes, basically. But he's kind of very understanding and like accepting of his punishment. And his sister Sierra does kind of freak out. It has a great line where she's like, "You just always ignore how much misery you cause me." And I really liked it.
I thought she was going to join him. I thought that's where it was going.
I did too.
Because the snow dragon's like, don't touch your brother. If you do, you're going to be part of the curse to serve Draconis in the Underworld for 1,000 years. And he's like, yeah, it's not even going to be 1,000 years because like I'm gonna come out of there sooner. So.
I'm gonna do so good in prison, you guys. They're gonna let me out.
Yeah,
so
exactly. That's basically.
I'm gonna snitch on so many people. Anyway,
is this where do you get that little? You get a little flash forward to what happens after.
yeah, this one does flash forward, and it does show you, and it kind of tells you via text, like that nobody really knows about the brother and sister, the siblings that kind of were the cause of this crisis, but the few people who do know that eventually they reunited, and it shows Lark walking up to his sister. So that's nice. So that's the end of the Dragon Quest.
Dragon Quest.
Yeah. Next up, we head to Heaven. Next up is Heaven. No, next up is Sovereign 11.
Oh,
we create
my favorite,
Polpata Harbor.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, John, tell us all about it.
You create the Polpata Harbor, and where's my? I need my little guide here. Where is it? So,
Which event is this?
this is Summer 11. You know, if Vanessa were
Happened
here,
so fast.
yeah, I was gonna say if Vanessa was here.
This one took me a minute because I had to grow a bunch of fruit.
Yeah. Why'd you have to grow fruit? Oh, right,
Because-
you
You
need
get
the
the
golden
golden
seed.
seed.
Yeah.
See, I already had it
Yeah,
because I
me
was
too.
growing fruit the whole time.
Yeah.
I find picking my fruit after an event very calming.
Yeah, exactly. You get this nice, creepy-looking tree, and he's like, "Feed me more seeds."
Excuse me? That tree has a name, and it is Trent.
Oh, that just sounds like he's one of those
Eventually you plant
assholes
the
who gets
orchard
like
and it's
a
a
family
different-
pass to go into Yale. You know where they get to go into Yale because they have family members who went into Yale.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Trent did. So you do use the Torch of Coral to create Medora Beach, and it's a beautiful beach. And you walk in there, and there's two pinglings, and they're having.
This one is next level.
They have, I would
But
say, what, a 10-minute conversation?
Oh, yeah.
You get to meet these two pinglings. Their names are Valerie and David. And Valerie is just seeing off David. You know, he's a pirate, and she's going on about what a dangerous life he has being a pirate, but they are mad for each other. Those two are like, I didn't think I'd fall for a pirate, but you're just so hot, and you're the hottest pirate ever. But she knows that he has to go for long periods of time because he's a pirate and got to do his piratey things. And as he's about to leave, she does mention, yeah, I guess I'll go have my hatch this egg alone. He's like, what? Egg?
And he's like, egg, but she says it and then she runs away.
Mhm. So this is one of those stories that is just very strange. So you're sort of following the pinglings. You're following the pinglings, and then you do, at the same time, to trigger a later event, have to make sure that you step on at least 20 crabs.
Yeah, like on certain screens, there are like these crabs that are darting back and forth in odd directions across the screen, and when you collide with them, they like explode into a burst of little polygons. So you're supposed to, according to the guide that we're using, you need to step on at least 20 crabs to trigger a later event, right? It doesn't even have anything to do with this event.
They seem to have, I don't know if it's problems communicating or something, those two, because first she's like, oh, I should never fall in love, you always got to go and leave me, and he's like, oh, I can't betray me crew and me captain. You stomp on all these crabs. I was counting, but it turns out that if you go to the tippy top of this area, you'll find a crab that says,
that crab is hilarious.
he's like, are you a shadow? Because you've stomped on 21 crabs, not including me. And then he just breaks into a million pieces.
Yeah.
Oh, really? They asked me if I was like a Lord of Shadows.
Oh, how many did you step on?
But it was only like 23.
Oh, I
was going to say, I stepped on 22.
Oh, well, he called me a shadow, so. And
it's so funny when he like exploded into a bunch of polygons. That was hilarious.
And so then you do find a what is the boss here? Full Metal Hagar? Do you remember what the boss looks like? I didn't take a screen grab of him.
Oh boy, which one are we on? Summer 11?
Summer 11,
Yeah.
having a
Let me Google
blast.
it.
Full Metal Hagar. Oh yeah, it's a big old cribbity crab.
Oh yeah, it's a big crab.
Yeah, I think I did get. I might have got killed at this one. There's one that the one that did kill me a lot of times was the Tropicalia one, but
Me too.
this
Tropicalo.
yeah, this one was cute. A giant crab. It is another one that you may remember from earlier Mana games. This crab's been around. So you defeat the crab, and then you do get to see the penguins reunited. He runs back. David runs back in.
This whole fucking thing.
It's like, Valerie.
David, by the way.
Yeah, David.
Valerie, what did you say about having an egg? And she says,
Jesus.
oh, I was just talking hypothetically, like, what if I had an egg? I don't actually have an egg. I was just like, maybe if I did have an egg, it wouldn't be good to be married to a pirate. And he's like, I will quit it. I will quit this pirate business forever so we can be together. Valerie and David, like one, a burning passion. We will never be apart again. She's like, actually, I kind of liked it. I kind of like it when you're a pirate. I don't know. You get to go on adventures and you're all big and tough and swarthy.
One thing that made me laugh here was that he states that it's his mission as a pirate to slay every monster in every ocean.
And she's like, well, if you aren't a pirate, who's going to slay the monsters? He's like, oh, I think I'll still slay the monsters for you. She's like, no, if you do not go now, I'm going to leave you. So you must go. And he's like, I'll do it.
She's like, I'll hate you forever.
Yeah.
So she then makes him say that he'll be back in 10 years after killing all the monsters in every ocean to protect her. And she's like, all right. Then he trundles off and she's like, I guess I'll have my egg now.
Oh.
So I don't know. She just got cold feet about the relationship. Was she just liking him more when he was unavailable, and she kind of liked the misery? That's kind of the gist that I got.
Wow. No, he had a dream, and she knows it, and she doesn't want to. She knows that if he stays, he won't be happy, and so she lets him, free. I guess. I don't know.
I was just taking it the other way. That she's like, oh, I don't know. This guy's a pirate. This guy sucks, actually. So that is the end of Summer Lovin'. Having a blast.
Summer loving happens so fast.
Tell me more. Tell me more. Did you fight a crab?
Tell me more. Tell me more. Did you have sex with that man? Anyway, following Summer Lovin' and the crab killing,
Drown Dreams?
all that stuff. Drown Dreams. This one's part of the Jumi arc, which is really going to be more of a end of the season arc. But this one happens along the way, so we should talk about it.
Drowned Dreams.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull it up.
What? I was just being dramatic. I definitely wasn't trying to pull it up. Okay, Drowned Dream. Click here.
So you show up at Popata Harbor, and there's a flowerling and a mermaid, and they're kind of arguing about a ghost.
Oh, this one's great.
Yeah, this is fucking fantastic. You go to the beach and you talk to this soldier named Toma, who says that he is investigating a sunk Imperial ship. And then you go to the hotel, and there's a ghost, and they beg you for help. Inspector Boyd is on the case, but you offer to help, and they, of course, jump at the case for that. And then this one involves a lot of walking around this town and just chit-chatting with people.
But you have to make sure
And
you
it's a lot
talk
of
to them
bullshit.
until they have absolutely nothing else to say.
Yeah.
That's the big one. Is eventually you talk to everybody in town a few times, and then you have to go back to Inspector Boyd, and you literally have to talk to him like 15 times.
Oh, yeah.
To get maybe 12 times to get the scene to move along, which I did not realize. It's absurd.
I did. So
It's
when you go
absurd.
to the hotel and you talk to the managers, there's a weird sound. I didn't notice something appear, but every time you leave the hotel,
Yeah.
it does appear.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like someone in a suit of armor, and so there's a few people.
It's a real Scooby-Doo situation because you learn that, so there's a lot of stuff going on. The inspector has received a threat that somebody's going to steal the blue eye or something like that. So he wants you to look into people with blue eyes, which seems not relevant, but okay. And
I'm not sure he's a good
it's-
inspector.
Yeah.
No, he's not. So you go talk to everybody, and you learn that there's a fish man who, let's all take a good hard look at this pic of this man and describe him.
Okay.
This fish
Basket
man
fish.
is They call it the basket fish. It is like a yellow fish with blue stripes that is sitting on top of a wicker
Is that
basket.
what he looks like?
Yeah.
And the wicker basket has 2 sticks poking out of the bottom with shoes on them. And those shoes do walk the basket fish around. So it's just a fish sitting on top of a whisker bassinet.
So one thing, the main character point, there's 2 main character points about the basket fish. 1, he's rich. 2, he's horny.
But horny for one dancer in particular.
Yeah, one humanoid ladyish dancer.
I don't know what this lady is. I tried to find her and I could not. But yes, so he rents out for 50,000 gold. He rents out the hotel lounge so that, and it is, this by the way is a strip club. There is a stripper pole dead center.
That's what I thought too.
On the stage. That's not a joke. Like, it's a stripper pole.
Yeah, there is a stripper pole. I did like also those hotel managers. Who are those dancing? They're the dancing shop guys from all
Yeah,
the
they're like the dancing sultan.
all the
little guys. Yeah.
yeah. They do say that they detest that nouveau riche fiche.
Yeah.
And that made me laugh.
Eventually, for me at least, I went and talked to the inspector, and eventually I told him that the soldier, which was the guy that was investigating the ship, had blue eyes, and that made him run off. So I thought that he would go investigate the soldier, but he didn't. It was weird. Eventually, I found them all in the strip club, and they had a big fight. Basically, like a big argument.
Well, because
where
the soldier finds
the
out
inspector did do some Columbo shit, where he's like, that makes sense. That makes sense.
I've got some questions about. So the resolution is the basket fish inherited a gem that lets him see whatever's going on in the ocean, and Thoma is
Called
very
the blue eye.
yeah. And Toma is super interested in this because he wants to know what happened to the boat that.
The way that it's
disappeared.
handled
so
in
he
the
can
game
see
is a
what happened
little
when the ship
weird.
sank.
The way that it's handled in the game is a little weird because he pulls out the blue eye. So the inspector, I think, or maybe Toma, is like, let me see the blue eye. And he's like, no. And then the stripper's like, let me see the blue eye. And he's like,
And he's like, oh, yes, please take it.
and he pulls it out, and immediately we cut to what happened to the ship that sunk that Toma is investigating. And it turns out that they were coming to the harbor to find some secret weapon, and they didn't seem to be on very honest business, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But a harpy or a siren flew by. They call it a sea hag.
Because they're
Flies by
problematic.
and sings its song,
Yeah.
and of course that makes the men go crazy, and the ship just sinks. They all stop working, and it goes under. So that's kind of the resolution of the arc: is that Toma learns the truth. The jewel thief, who we've mentioned before, does appear and steal the jewel and disappear.
Is that what happened? Because I thought that was actually the ghost that took it. I mean, the Boyd says it's Sandra, but I thought Boyd was wrong and that it was actually a ghost that took it. And that's like what happens because he comes back again in the next one.
The inspector blames the jewel thief.
Yeah, he blames Sandra.
Yeah.
I don't think he's right. I think it was just a ghost that took
It didn't seem to make sense because doesn't the ghost
thought it
show
was
up and
a
they talk about it later?
I thought it was a Scooby-Doo situation, and
Boyd
the ghost
thinks
was the person that was going to steal that blue eye the whole time.
I think that's what
and
Boyd
was waiting.
thinks it is, but I don't know if that's correct.
Isn't there another quest where like the ghost and Toma talk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Right?
this is the Jumi arc, and this is the big final arc of the game. So we'll come back around to this.
Okay, we'll see. Was it Sandra or was it a ghost? We don't know. And I'm glad.
It leads directly into the next event.
Yeah.
Which is part of the Gilbert arc, but is
Gilbert
called
the
a Siren's.
centaur? He's the one who was like hitting on the lady.
The siren.
Yeah. Okay.
That runs the lamp
Oh,
shop.
okay.
Okay.
So this one involves you going to Lumina, and if you do the previous event first, there are soldiers there. You talk to them, and they talk about how they're looking for the siren that runs the lamp shop because a siren sunk one of their ships.
Mm-hmm.
So we caused this.
Yeah.
If you go to the lamp shop, the siren that works there is not there. What is her name?
Monique.
Yeah, Monique.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got pictures of them down there. They're very weird.
Yeah, we've talked about Monique's weird like plant arms. She's kind of got the Dr. Octopus.
Yeah,
plant
Dr.
arms.
Octopus, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, Monique is gone. You go to the harbor and you go to the restaurant. She's there and she talks about she's being hunted, but the soldiers capture her, but then turn her loose because more soldiers show up and say, "We've already captured the siren." Then you go to Madeira Beach, and on the beach you find this. Actually, it's weird. It's this gorgeous screen all the way to the left where there's a huge cage built. There's a character standing in front, a mermaid standing in front of the cage that won't let you in.
Yeah.
Ellie, is it? So I got confused here.
Ella's inside the cage, and then
Who's
there's
Ella though?
Ella's the sea witch. Ella's the siren that sunk the ship.
yeah.
Wait, well, where's Monique then?
Monique is
Flies up and hovers around the top of the cage, trying to convince Ella that she should not. So what has happened is the soldiers did catch Ella, the siren that did sink the ship, and they have imprisoned her in a cage on this beach.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
there's
she will be
three.
able to sing her siren song.
There's three sirens
but
here, and I
not-
don't remember the one who's guarding.
One's a
it.
mermaid.
Oh, it's one a mermaid.
That's a mermaid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I don't remember her name either.
yeah.
I think I put it in here. I can look. Let me see. Yes, Flemish.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Teenage mermaid
Yeah.
who
Flemish the Teenage Mermaid.
sneaked out of her family one day and went to the beach where she met and befriended Ellie.
I was a
whatever.
teenage mermaid, baby.
Ella
Listen to Iron
says that she
Maiden,
does
baby.
not want to leave the cage because the soldiers have locked her in here and Flemish is guarding the gate for some reason. That's not explained. But Ella has decided that she does not want to leave the cage. Maybe that's why Flemish is there, to keep people from trying to free her.
So this
Because she doesn't want to kill people. And they
Yeah.
have a whole argument about how sirens are just meant to be free.
Can
and
I
they
stop
just sing
you
their
here?
songs.
This seems to be like, I don't know if it's the moral of the game or just the weird like philosophy of a lot of characters in this game. It seems to be a lot of people are like, you doing horrible things that gets a lot of people killed is what you're gonna do. Who am I to stop you?
Yeah,
That's
John,
freedom.
like I brought this up on the last episode. Like, it's weird, and the game seems to be endorsing it because the characters that say it are like the wisest characters you've met so far in the game.
Freedom is the freedom to do horrible things that gets lots of people killed, which is not a message currently in this current
Yeah.
political climate of many factors that I kind of disagree with, because I'm like, no,
know.
Monique. Actually, it's bad to get people killed, and I think it's good to control yourself from your impulses.
I was laughing because she's like, I just want to sing, but I know it's going to hurt a bunch of people. And the other siren is like, no, singing is what you love. Nobody has the right to stop you from doing something that you love, even if it hurts a lot of people. And I was like, what?
And that's the moral of the story, Jim.
Yeah.
So then basically Monique talks Flamache into opening. Well, she doesn't open the she's like no. She says no, but then she like fades into a bubble and you have a second.
She's like drying out, like she needs moisture because she's like, oh, it's so bright out here, like she's so hot. And so then she warps herself into a bubble and you got to sneak through while she's bubbling.
Yeah, a real
She
Sierra
doesn't even
game
warp herself
thing.
into it. She uses a bubble to warp away. The
Yeah.
bubble vanishes into like a single drop of water, and that drops on the ground. You have to time it out to get there as she vanishes to get through the gate. It's not that hard.
This took me many times because I kept trying to go through the gate at the wrong spot.
Yeah,
And so you have to be in like a real specific spot
on.
on the far left.
I got it the first time. So.
Oh, wow.
But anyway, you get through, and Ella decides to stay. She's like, you get through, and
You gotta fight Tropicalo.
What?
here.
Tropicalo.
yeah, you have to fight fucking Tropicalo because they're keeping her trapped there with this Tropicalo, which is just it's two flowers that hang from the ceiling, but one of them, if you knock it off, will fucking explode in a half the screen covering area of effect
And
attack that
total
will
instant
one
kill.
shot you
Yeah.
no matter what.
So my strategy was mostly to hide. Anytime that one was on the ground, I'd hide in the bottom left corner where it can't touch me, and that's
That's
the
what I
only
did.
way to get through it. I feel like this boss fight's glitched because it doesn't seem like maybe they designed it this way. If they did, that's a stupid boss fight.
It's bad. It's bad.
Yeah.
It's a bad fight. You have to really be super careful. You have to play it like a fucking Dark Souls game for a little while.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
Yeah.
And otherwise, the game's so fucking easy that it's really stupid.
Yeah.
But anyway, you defeat the monster and you do tell Ellie you are free to leave, but she does say, nah, I like it here. And then everybody kind of agrees, well, as long as you are free to go whenever you want, you know, as long as this is consensual imprisonment, I guess you can stay. And everybody just kind of leaves.
I did anyone run into a dryad on the beach and try to play music for it? Because I tried that and it like was interested in my music.
You can run into elemental beings in old boss spots similar to eggs.
Okay.
And try to catch them. And if you do, they will give you elemental coins. And elemental coins can be used in tempering weapons to beef the shit out of their stats. You can also buy them, but they're fucking crazy expensive.
Okay.
And this is one of those things where you need to use a particular item and then hammer in 2 or 4 of each kind of coin, which they all cost like 5,000 gold a
That's
piece.
crazy.
Okay.
It's bonkers. And that's just to like set it up so that all of its magic stats are beefed out, and then you start hammering stuff in to raise its stats. You can get a sword up to 200, but it's not gonna happen.
Holy cow.
What do you do? Like, so I got the dryad close to me. And I was playing music that I was curious about.
You have to walk slowly up to it and talk to it.
Oh, okay. Okay, that was the part I didn't do right.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Anyway, we've only got one more event to cover before the end of this chunker, and we've been going for, I feel like, probably way too long.
an hour and
So let's
48
do this.
minutes. So yeah, let's
a
finish
million
it.
years.
Let's finish
So the final event of the episode is also maybe the best event of the episode. It's the Quiet Sea.
Wait, did we talk about the arc of the lady and Irwin and all that?
That was last episode.
No, it wasn't. I killed Irwin this episode. That was totally this episode. What are you talking about? Wait,
Killed who?
Okay, what is it then? I've got all of the chunkers listed.
the one with Matilda, and she dies, and you're with Dana.
Oh, I was gonna
name of
ask
the-
about that. I could have swore I played.
Yeah,
played that for
definitely did that one.
What's it called?
this one. She dies and goes to the Underworld.
Yeah, let me go back 1 second. Because, that was
me
a
too.
crazy event that had...
We ended at the Seven Wisdoms. This one had the Dragonarch Guardian of the Wind.
It's
It is
Heaven's
Dragonarch.
Gate. Is it Heaven's Gate? Yeah, it's Heaven's Gate.
Is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, right? Yeah, because you start out going to the dream weaving where Matilda is, and she says she's going to die.
Oh, yeah, let's
I
talk
think
about that
we
one.
started talking
Yeah.
about that
Yeah.
and then stopped talking about it.
All right, let's go back to that one, because I feel like this might be the most important one.
Yeah.
That's the one I
think so,
said where
too.
you said you enter you go to Gato Grottos and you have to go to the dream weaving
Mhm.
and everything gets weird, but then we somehow moved on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you talk to Diana or Earl Blurb, Irwin Iskad, depending on
Iskad.
who you have sided with. So in this case, I think we all chose Diana because we're boring. And she's talking to Matilda, and she's like, "Matilda, you're 26. You can't talk like this." She's like, "No, after I know that everything is right with the world, I'm going to die." And okay, 26-year-old.
We also have gotten some cutscenes that imply that when she dies, she's going to become like the seventh guardian spirit.
Oh, and she does.
The eighth or seventh wisdom.
That
right?
happens
Seventh
during
wisdom.
this event.
Yeah, this.
I know,
yeah.
John. That's why I'm bringing it
Oh,
up.
okay. So you place the brooch of love that you receive from Matilda down, and you create leucemia. And leucemia, you don't just walk it. You can't just.
I don't know what this is. It's like a giant floating fucking dragon in
worm.
the sky,
Yeah,
but it
big-
has
Yeah.
giant holes in it. I think it's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, no,
There's
yeah,
holes
that's what
in
they
it, and you
say.
just
There's a bit
wander
of
through
lore
its
that
guts.
says, like, there was a giant worm summoned,
Mhm.
and it was eating everything, and then it ate an active volcano, and it, like, burned to death from the inside out.
Mhm.
So that's, like, the like, corpse of that thing is what you're on.
And you do
Yeah.
take one does not simply walk to leucemia. One takes a bird / mana
Yeah, the
beast.
bird snatches you up.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so weird.
It's fun, yeah. On the map, instead of watching your little dude walk over, a bird picks you up and gives you a lift over to leucemia. And this is the second longest dungeon of this chunker, where you're walking across the back. You do talk to that. What's the wind spirit's name again? Doesn't matter. He's just telling you, like, he's like one of the guardian. I don't know. He's there and he's like, "Yeah, you know what's happening, right? Like, you know what this is gonna do." And you're like, "Oh, okay, sure." And he's sort of checking in with you that you want to keep going.
Yeah, he does that a couple times. I didn't
yeah.
understand.
And then you finally get to Irwin, and you sort of find out about Irwin's deal here.
Well, now's a good time to bring up that this is involving Irwin and Iskad, and we do have a great pick of the demon. What's his name? Irwin. So Irwin, it's actually kind of funny. I guess that he has changed from what he looked like when he was young. I don't think we talked about it last time, which is he is like a monster man. Like he basically just has like a human face surrounded by like a giant. The beard he's got red hair, and his beard makes me think of Lex Luthor in the 90s when Superman died.
Oh,
And he's got giant legend horns and like just like a monster body.
Yeah.
Like he's
Yeah.
got a 1, 2, 3,
12 pack?
4, 5, 6.
He's
He's
got
got a
like-
12 pack of what I don't believe we would be doing the show. Our listeners, or of course our good friend Vanessa Justice, if we did not refer to as cum gutters.
yeah. He is swole. He is ripped. He is thick.
Well, he does have like the backward facing dog leg thing, so that's weird. His tail seems to be a braid, which
Yeah.
is very strange.
So you do fight Irwin.
This is our hero.
You and Dana are going to fight Irwin, and Matilda refused to go just live in the world with fairies with Irwin peacefully. She's like, "No, that is not what I want to do." And you find out why as soon as you defeat Irwin. Because you defeat Irwin and send him to the Underworld. And then you get a pretty long cutscene of the Shadows being like, oh, we're going to have fun with you. And then Matilda shows up because she died. She's dead now. She's in the Underworld. And she's like, they're like, hey, we're not gonna let you through. And she's like, oh, you will. And they're like, oh, well, who are you then? And she turns to them, icy cold glare, and says, I see dead people. I am the universe. And then makes them disappear.
Yeah.
She has become imbued with the power of the universe. And
Captain Universe.
She does talk to Irwin, and she's like, the reason everyone told me what I was going to be, and you're the only one who gave me an option to not be that way. And he's like, well, I felt bad about stealing your powers. And she's like, yeah, but it like ended up with me being like way more powerful than I ever would have been otherwise. So don't worry about it, buddy. It's fine. And let's work together to destroy this place forever. So I feel like they're going to come back.
I mean, this is the end of this arc.
Oh, well, maybe in the next game. Who knows?
All right. Anyway, thank you, John. We do have one more event, and that is the Quiet Sea. We create Mordora Beach, as we mentioned. No. Above, around, that doesn't matter. We're going to use the Pirate's Hook AF to create the SS Buccaneer, something we've already talked about. But...
Did Jim have a problem with this one?
I didn't realize you had to put the hook in water.
Oh.
It's a ship.
Yeah, it's a ship.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's gorgeous. Once you get on board, it is amazing looking. The second screen, like you're at the deck or whatever. The top deck is amazing looking. You can see the whole ship behind it. It's all moving in the wind. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So,
but you have to navigate your way through this thing to find a guy named Rantiger, and he steers the ship. And for some reason, even though it's only in one spot on the map, I guess you're sailing around in the water, you can direct the ship. And if you direct it in a certain way, it will trigger an event.
This seems like a Sierra game
Sea.
thing, like where how would you even know to do this? You know?
Yeah. It's fun. They tell you, the guy tells you the wind is stopped, the sea is quiet, you better go fish or something.
Better go
we're not
fishing.
going anywhere. And you go up top, and there's a guy fishing, and you leave and come back, and he has pulled up a bottle, which of course he immediately unstops, and a ghost comes out. And then you have to like chase the ghost around.
The sprite animation. This is as good as anything in Breath of Fire 3. The sprite animation
so
of him
silly.
opening the bottle is so cute. It's like,
That's great.
huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, these are all pinglings. This is the pinglings and walrus ship. So you do get.
Yeah, you go talk to Walrus Captain, and he tells you to whatever catch the ghost.
Well, he's like, yeah, you'll need to
And-
find the bottle to put the ghost back
Put
in.
the ghost
Yeah,
back,
that's
yeah.
right.
And
Eventually,
all
you
the
find a barrel that's moving, and you go.
Yep.
You poke it enough times, and what you have to do is tell it that there's a pretty lady out
Yeah,
here.
there's a pretty girl out
And
there.
He starts running around and like acting cool. And if you stop him and pretend like you're a pretty lady, he'll give you the bottle. Yay!
Yay!
And you go fight a boss on the top
Yeah,
deck.
that's like the ghost looks like he's kind of swole too. He does not skip arm day.
This boss KO'd me one time
Oh.
because that like move it does with its little ghost tail where it sucks all your health away will like get you. I mean, like it did it once and I was at like 18%.
Oh, yeah, I managed to stay away from that thing. It was it looked dangerous.
He was mostly just concentrating on my monster. I think it was either Stan or Jim. And yeah, he just would not leave poor Jim alone. Just attacking him with his weird tail. And then you fight him, and that's the end of that. You defeat this ghost named Gova.
It made me think of Cell from the beginning of the Cell saga in Dragon Ball Z. Anyway, that is it for this chunker. Next week, we will stop after Event 59. That's the Wimpy Thugling.
Nice.
Before Event 60. This thing is 68 events long, so hopefully the last chunker will be a nice tight couple of side quests, and the Jumi storyline seems to be the majority of it. So For Matt and Jim's punishment corner, my golem is fucking badass. Like, I don't know, I already talked about it, so I don't know what to say, but like, that shit's great. What a great little device. Like I have to admit, all the systems, this game has got so much going for it. It's too bad that it's so stupid.
Just take away keep the land placement thing, but I don't know, explain it better?
It's simple. I got it. I figured it out today.
Like,
just make it so that you can pick them back up and move them around.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
So
Let me
much of the game is
reorder it.
predicated on making sure that they're set in the right spot. The fact that it's permanent when you set them fucks it all up.
Yeah. If you could, reorder it, that would be great.
If we're going to sit here and complain about the game, then we should do it in the segment of the show that is specifically designed for that. That's right. Let's talk about what we're squarely against. John.
I am squarely against the idea that if you want to do something, it's more important than what the consequences of doing it is. What the hell kind of morality tale is this?
It's called freedom, John.
It's the type of morality
Who
tale
are you to tell me I can't be free?
Who are you to tell me that my freedom doesn't include infecting you with a deadly virus?
Or
I mean, if I were to infect you with a deadly virus with a needle, it would be a crime.
Well, what's that
but
called?
If I do it by breathing on you, I guess it's fine.
What's it called when people have those trucks with like the smokestacks burning coal or running coal?
What the fuck you're talking about?
It's those people who like made extra polluting diesel trucks.
I know.
Like, you know what I'm
there's some
talking
of that
about.
where there's some of that where I grew up.
Anyway, John, tell us more.
So I'm against that. Jim, what are you squarely against?
I'm squarely against what Matt and I were just talking about, that I cannot reorder the lands on my map. That, I think, would make the game 100% better, because the land placing thing is so stressful, especially because, like, as I've played through these chunkers, I messed up pretty early because I was following a different guide and then switched, so a lot of my stuff just doesn't make sense relative to the guide that we're using. So, like, I wish I could just move that stuff around.
Well, I am roundly for putty. What a stupid thing to be in this game. Full of stupid things. But I swear to God, that is the Doug Bears communal pet that they have put clothes on. And that makes it even more funny. Well, we have not been getting emails lately because our listeners do not love us anymore.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know.
But we do have a Patreon that we should plug.
We do have Patreon, and this Patreon has 2 tiers. The first tier is $3, and that gives you access to every single bonus episode. We were going to do a sword/adventure of mana bonus this month, but we've decided that's more of an actual series show because it, like, especially Sword of Mana has a lot of plot and stuff, so we could do a real episode on it. So we're doing something else that I think you'll like for this chunker. Matt and Jim, are you doing your Cyberpunk follow-up, or are you waiting until Vanessa's finished it?
I don't know, Jim. Are we doing a Cyberpunk follow-up? Because I messaged you about it like 6 times today, and you never responded to me.
I wanted to play the chunker first. Okay. Yes, we should do that.
Okay. Well, just let me know. I can be on it if you need someone, as long as it's not during the week.
No, I mean, I think we just need to knock it out. We just need to spend... It's only 30 minutes. We just got to do it.
Yeah.
And for $5 a month, you can vote on upcoming games. We do a couple of votes a year. And this is just a way of saying thank you for being super fans of the show. And that's great. And the next vote will be after the next game. So
Ooh,
a couple,
we're going to announce the next game on the next episode, right?
Yeah, you can announce it now.
Oh, let's just announce it now. Next game.
Skyrim!
Elder Scrolls 5.
I'm trying to do all the
Skyrim.
music. No. Fu Soro.
Ooh,
da.
I had an idea. We should have a shout corner where we all try to do different shouts from the game.
Last time, I still think who knows, maybe I'll end up liking it more this time. I did enjoy Oblivion more because I like the environment more than Snow, but maybe I'll like this more this time. with like
No, I mean, it's the world is very samey, and it's not helped by the fact that all of the dungeons are just cut and paste copies of themselves.
Yeah, all the caves. Oh man, we're gonna have to go through 900,000
You know,
caves.
the thing is, and I think Jim's got the right idea, is that what we really need to do is hit the story, but it's frankly not that fucking interesting.
I mean, Skyrim is still being released on new things all the time today.
But I think we take advantage of the weird stuff that we can do to really craft our own narratives as well to kind of try to spend some time on.
Yeah.
You
It'll be fun.
came up with a great idea. I think mine's fun.
I think mine's gonna be fun too.
Yeah. Yep. Anyway, that's Skyrim. And Patreon, one last thing. We like to read the names of many of our patrons at the end of the episode. We're going to start that now, which means I'm going to walk away.
All right. I would like to thank Florian Jonas Kramer, Sexy Grandma's Boy Toy Is, Zachary Train, Verbatime Burger Time, Chief Hazard built a robot of Kinky Sam Elliott to land the Square Roots Team of Bad Dragon sponsorship, Alexander Jokic, Tree Hugging is a Gateway Drug, John Scala, Joseph, Dr. Fine, say everyone's name, Metal Gear Solid 1 in 2021, Matt Newland asked, do you want 2 CDs? Andrew Leinart, Ethan G. Pearson, I'm only doing this to vote for Kingdom Hearts 2, and Paul Bursch. Did you get that 2 CDs one, John?
No, I didn't. Sorry, I was.
Hey, John, do you want 2 CDs?
What kind of CDs?
CDs nuts.
Oh no! Matt, read names.
Well, I would like to thank Devin Sloan, Mikey Mucho, Jared Collins, Isaac Wright, Adam Zimmerman, Jake Dickerson, Jack Mizell, David Shook, D's Nuts, Listen Up Squoot Stains, Nofford, Eric Poirier, Josh and Julio are the cutest, Keysby Knight, Wedge Coon, a real man o' the sea, and Dylan Rowe.
That is what the Walrus Captain does call you. I'd like to thank every Vanessa's mom is a precious treasure, Michael Crawford, WWE Mike G, Chris Ryan, Aiden Marriott, Amanda Douglas, Ian Frederick, the RPG Luminary, Brian Pitt, Stop the Shock, see Twitter hashtag for more info, Hudson Roth, Ross Hartley, Big Floppy Willie. There are many hats, but they are all one.
Jam.
Marcus Harnsberry, Jonathan Ellsworth, Justin Ham, and Vanessa's mom evades the mouth's detective once again.
All right, everyone, that's it for this episode of Square Roots. If you'd like to have an email read on the air, our email address is squarerootspodcast@gmail.com. You can come see us at our Facebook group, the Square Roots Podcast Group for smart, cool, very attractive people, or you can find us on Twitter at Square Roots Pod.
Please rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes, Ghana, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Thanks to Stephen Morris for our Square Roots theme. You can find Stephen on Twitter as Beige on Beige and on YouTube. Links in the show notes.
Welcome.
Is that YouTube name meant to be is that Twitter handle meant to be as like repulsive as possible?
I don't know.
Beige on beige?
Welcome to our new Spotify listeners. For all our classic... I can't do a Vanessa
That's not
impression.
what Vanessa sounds
No.
like.
Welcome. Maybe I'll do...
You sound angrier.
welcome to our new Spotify
Welcome to our new Spotify listeners. For all our classic episodes, check out our archive at squareroots.libsyn.com or on our Square Roots RSS feed, I guess. Like,
I'm too
A,
tired
if
to
you want
read
and
that
B,
small
you
URL.
deserve.
Hi, I'm Vanessa. To our Spotify listeners, check out our old episodes at squareroots.libsyn.com.
All right. For Square Roots, I'm Johnny Brandon.
I'm Jim Banks.
I'm Matthew Van Zant, and also tonight acting legally as her attorney. In fact, I am Vanessa.
Bye.
normal
gonna-
circumstances.
Yes.
Try and buy a plane ticket this week to go to Dallas in October for my grandmother's 90th.
Wow.
Mm.
My grandmother, what would she be now? 100. If she was alive, she'd be 108. So.
You know, I'll tell you this. I've only had one grandparent my whole life. All the rest were dead before I was born. Well, that's not true. My paternal grandfather was alive for a week or two after I was born.
Wow, it's pretty much identical to me.
But I have my grandmother,
Yeah.
and she has always been around, and she is an institution.
I did get to meet my grandmother several times.
They're all Trump supporters. The last time I saw her, she was wearing, when I introduced her to Jim, she was wearing a Trump hat. And it
I was
was
gonna
very,
say, I've met that grandma.
it was very disappointing. She's 90, so we can let her slide for being brainwashed by the cult that's currently ruining America.
I have another level up.
Oh,
Your discussions of cults made me think of it. I listened to an investigative journalism podcast called Hunting Warhead, and it's not something Matt should listen to, and it's probably not something Johnny should listen to, and it may not be anything you should listen to, because it is about the worst places on the dark web, doing the worst things you can imagine to the most innocent of victims, and that's all the hints I'll give about that.
There's a comic book, indie published by Ed Piskor, who does the Comics Kayfabe YouTube channel and the X-Men Grand Design books that I raved about last year. And he's currently publishing a comic called Red Room, Murder for Profit on the Dark Web. And it's kind of based on that kind of modern urban legend of people killing each other, killing people on the web. I don't want to read it because it looks gory and disgusting and horrifying, but I'm sure that somebody out there is very into the idea.
Mm-hmm. This sort of touched on that, and they were saying, yeah, anyone who has like tried to hire a hitman just loses their bitcoins, because what can you do? You can't go to the police and be like, this guy ripped me off. No, this is more about child abuse.
Is this like a don't fuck with cats kind of thing about regular people trying to search for?
No, it's about journalists primarily. So it's about two journalists, and one of them is Norwegian. And just a teaser for the first episode, he is able to, with the help of a hacker who contacts him, like a white hat hacker, trace this particular server to a server farm in Australia. And then he flies to Australia and finds out who owns this server. And it kind of goes from there. But it's surrounding him looking for this one particular guy named Warhead, that's his internet name, who runs all of these horrible websites. So again, really sensitive topic, really difficult, but I highly recommend it. As far as journalism, it's great. Okay, on that note, I'll leave you to it. Happy to bring the podcast down right before I go to bed.
Yeah, thanks for leaving us laughing, Vanessa.
Yeah.
I guess maybe cut that out.
Yeah. Now let's talk about silly fun things.
Yeah.
Bye.